Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining A Moment with Linda. So, today I'm going to be discussing Harris versus Trump. Now, the reason why I'm doing this, we have a lot of undecided voters, is what I'm hearing, and also there's a lot of misinformation going around. I'm here for you. Your girl got your back. So I didn't really want to get into politics. However, this is a lifestyle channel. I generally talk about Ozempic and anything that really has to do with lifestyle. And in the past, I've talked about the other elections. So on Harris, she has continued to state that she wouldn't do anything different.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years? There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
Basically, she's basically saying that she's gonna be somewhat, but in her own style, the same as the current. Now, Donald Trump is Donald Trump, so we all know what we're gonna get with him. And I want you to think about that. In 2016, when he became president, and under his administration, are you better off? Were you better off with Donald Trump, or were you better off at the current administration? That's something to think about. We also got to look at right now, we are in a couple other wars right now that's going on. So it's just right now, in people, I don't know, I really get into politics to where we are also, China's being an issue as well. They're not really talking about that, but they are in the backgrounds and they're messing with Taiwan, and that's been on. And right now, the main news is Israel and Ukraine, and we're both allies. We're trying to help both of them out. Okay. In fact, we have spent so much money over there to where now the United States is in a crisis with Florida, the hurricanes and stuff, to where we can't help them out. Oh, well, I want to say we can't. They were trying to figure out where the money was going to come, and that they do have a little money, but they have to wait until Congress open back up to get more money to the people. So it appears that we're coming last after they spent up all the money. Now they can tell me what they want to say. That's what it is. You basically, if they need more than, I think it's $650 million, which is not a whole lot. We'll go to this. I'm not going to just talk. We'll go to this. Okay, so if we spend that money up and need more money, we got to get special approval, which means that this money was not budgeted. They have to either take it from another area or just be over budget, which we already in a deficit. Who cares? But at this point, we're not even trying to fix the deficit, it looks like. And that's either party. I mean, neither one of them are really talking about fixing the deficit. Now, I do know Trump was trying, and he did in his administration, but C-19 happened. So that put a monkey wrench, and he had to start issuing checks and doing extra things to really get things going and keep the economy going. The other thing is going to be here at home with the migrants. We had something in place, even though it may not have been the best plan, it was working. The numbers show that it was working. I'm showing you this chart right now. Okay, that chart shows that it was working when Donald Trump was the president. I'm not saying it was no one coming in here. It was very rare, and that's what it is. And with that being said, look at where it is with them. And now you're telling me, oh, on day one, we were trying to do something. Okay. A lot of times these bills don't get passed because not only are they trying to put immigrations in there, they're trying to put other stuff in there. Then a new recent bill was just, which is like, okay, so all this time for the last 3.5 years, you couldn't stay focused on the immigration, seeing that it's out of control, that should seem like that just should have been, and it's not a feeling, it's very obvious. I just showed you the chart that basically that was not priority. Now I do know that, Americans are not having babies and stuff like that, but we do need to vet these people. We don't just need to let any and everybody in here and killing up people. And I'm not saying all migrants. I think a lot of migrants that come in here that's law-abiding citizens, they're following the law to the T because they want to make a better life for themselves, and they're not going to do things. However, the only way we really know that is by really vetting them. So with that being said, I really think that we need to look at the immigration as well, the immigration policies, the economy, and also all the other stuff. She is proposing if you get a business that she'll give you $50,000, or it would be a forgivable loan, which that's okay. So it's unconstitutional for her to do that. However, she can give SBC, which is a Small Business Administration, so much money for certain category earners or for certain type of businesses, or it would have to be specified, and it would also have to be passed by the House and the Senate as well. That would be legal. But is it going to always get to the people that she's really trying to help? And this has been done before, so that's not, I won't say not a big deal. And then also, no tax on tips, which she got that from Donald Trump. She's also talking about giving $25,000 to new home buyers. Now, I'm just gonna say, if you're walking around and you're buying a starter home, which we all can kind of tell what a starter home is, and you are the seller, think about it logically. That would you increase your price? And the reason why you would increase your price, not just because they're walking around with that money. Now, I do have a real estate background, and this is what happens. You say, Mr. Seller, we want to buy your house. So if it's going to be like a federal program, it's going to have to meet criteria within the loan or something to that nature, or they're going to have a second party come out there and do their stuff. So now, instead of closing in 30 days, now you need to set that loan to close in 60 to 90 days. So that's going to be clue number one. If the seller has an agent, that you're working with some sort of program, or they're going to have to ask, why do you need 90 days? Oh, well, I'm getting down payment assistance. It comes out. So, because you're going to have to tell them the truth for them to, because they're already questioning, why can't you close in 30 days? So now they know you're walking around with extra monies. So when they counter back, pop, they get ready to pop you for an extra 10. Now, housing prices are going to slowly start creeping back up higher than what they are now. Not in all cases, because that doesn't mean that she's going to put it down for everyone to qualify. It just depends on how she goes with that. On the small business portion of it, really and truly, again, with the SBC, all of this is just figuratively. And again, that they can go with the SBC and do it that way, have criterias. But with Donald Trump, he's talking about no tax on tips, no taxes on overtime, which is a big one for a lot of people. Some people, most of their income is overtime, and no tax on the senior citizens. So those are all big ones. And he can do that. How he's making up the difference is on the other countries. Yeah, no tax on overtime. That one is a big one. And also, Donald Trump energy proposal is that he's saying that he should be able to get the energy down 50%, from where it was, you know, or where it is now. Because most people, another reason why, not just gas prices, heating costs, all of that stuff, winter's getting ready to set in. You're going to start getting those higher heating costs. So these are things that Americans have to look at, you know, by his proposal of how he's going to get the cost down. So now, like I said, those are the things that I personally use to analyze what candidate. Donald Trump does have experience. He's been the president before. She's been a vice president. She has not been the commander in chief, which the main difference is going to be making the final decision. On this, you know, don't always, you know, go by your feelings. You go by what you know. You know, like I said, we do know for a fact that in Trump's administration there was no wars. That's a fact. There were no new wars. That's a fact. There were no, you know, most Americans, from what I know, now I'm not gonna say all, but most Americans felt like they had more money. Inflation was low. You could afford a house. And the evidence is that the people were buying them hand over fist. But overall, this is going to be a big one. And you make that choice. Just get out and vote. That's the main thing, is get out and vote, or what you feel that's going to be best for you and your family. Because that's not something I just look at and vote based on what I'm doing. I also do it based on what's best for my family. So I do want to thank you for joining A Moment with Linda, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.